All right, everybody. Um, Welcome to the last Friday evening trains of 2021. Unfortunately, though, it is not going to start off on a happy note because we got to talk about this shit. So, today was a release of the Chatham Mainline, London Victoria, and Blackfriars to Dover and Ramsgate route. Um, yeah, yeah, and you'll notice that full price this route is 40 US dollars, which is standard for a route. Um Now, when this route came out, I, and possibly misguidedly, was under the impression that this was going to feature the original Chatham mainline, um as was released a few years ago. As well as the line to um via Gravesend, um, via shit. I think like Dartford. I think is where that line goes. Um, no. So the line via Blackfriars is the one that goes through Elephant and Castle, not through London Bridge, to join up to the original Chatham main line, that terminated at Gillingham. It features a short section to Gravesend, I think for use with the 395, which we'll get to. And then from Gillingham, it follows the original London to Faversham high speed route, um, to Faversham, updating the various stations along the way to accommodate uh, um, 12 car trains. And then at Faversham, the line splits, and then you have the route to Ramsgate, and you have the route to Dover Priory. Now this route um essentially essentially functions as an extension to the Chatham main line. And yet, uh I am expected to pay full price for a route that I already own half of, owning the original Chatham main line and the Medway extension. And I'm not someone who just, oh, DTG bad, like everything they do. Like, not everything they do is automatically bad. But this is bullshit. Honestly. Like, what in the hell? This is a route I already own half of, and yet I am expected to pay full price for it again. Just with the extension to Faversham, Blackfriars, and then Dover and Ramsgate. And not only that, it specifically mentions in the route description, in the original announcement article, and the announcement article that was posted today, that uh, Thameslink services now terminate at Rainham. The Rainham station was reworked and now features a bay platform for Thameslink services. And since they specifically call it out, I have to find it on here because I'm sure it's in the route description. Yeah, here we go. Thameslink also make an appearance running services along the Catford Loop towards Swanley and from North Kent into Medway, terminating at Rainham's new Platform Zero. So, I figured that this route would finally include a Thameslink Class 700. I figured maybe they weren't announcing it initially, they were just announcing the route, and then there would be more articles coming out. I didn't think this route was coming out this soon. So I figured maybe they'd announce that as it went along. Nope, it is just southeastern stock. And it's like, I mean, and DTG gimping content like this is nothing new. Um, but if you're specifically going to mention it multiple times, like, it doesn't even have to be drivable, just like even an AI only one. Because what are we getting? We're getting the same Class 375 that we've had for ages now in both. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't have what it's included in here. Let me pull up the Steam page real quick. This is just off the cuff. These aren't prepared remarks. Let's see. So, yeah, here we go. So, included is a brand new BR Class 465-9 in Southeastern Blue Stripe and Gray Stripe liveries, the Class 465-0 and 465-1 in Southeastern Blue Stripe, the Class 395 in Southeastern High Speed Original and 10th Anniversary liveries, and then BR Class 375-3, 375-6, 375-7, 375-8, and 375-9 in the following Eastern liveries. Blah, 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 blah. 371 in Southern livery with Southern and Southeastern logos, and then the 377 in Southeastern. So, yeah, what we're basically getting is the new Class 49 or 465, and then a couple of reskins. And, like, not even, like, I'm sure it's the same, it's a reskin of the same 375, or 377 that came with London to Brighton, and we've had for almost 10 years now, and has been re-released I don't know how many goddamn times. Like, come on. And, like, the 10th anniversary livery on the 395 is, like, it's literally like a little patch. Like, it says 10 years on the side next to the cab window. Unbelievable. Like, I, I, I don't know what else to say. Like, and, like, I get it. It's not simple because the original Chatham mainline route is kind of married to the Medway extension now, so I understand that complicates it a little bit. Thank you, Jessica. But what the hell? And, like, I understand DTG ripping us off is nothing new. This has been going on for years, but I don't know, man. This one just rubs me the wrong way. It's just so shady. I can't even, like, oh my god. Like, I can't even, like. So yeah, that's interesting. So we'll see. Yeah, I've heard from other people that this has already gotten a lot of negative reaction. Um because again, this is essentially just an extension of the original Chatham mainline route. Um even if it does, like, double in length, which it might. Let me see. The original Chatham mainline route is a 48-mile Chatham mainline route between London, Victoria, and Gillingham, with a short extension to Raynham. Okay, so it does actually about triple the length of the route. So, I guess, like, it's not as bad, maybe. But, alright, because no, it doesn't quite triple it. It's 130 miles. But still, like, the fact that there's not even a discount for, because the discount is not a you own the original Chatham mainline extension or route. This is a launch discount. If you look on Steam, this ends on Christmas Eve. It ends in a week. So that if I wait until Christmas Day to buy this, I would have to pay $40, which I'm not buying this. So, like, because like when so the original uh, the situation I compare this to, and it's not quite the same because of again of the Medway Valley line, but the situation I kind of compare this to is the original Southwestern Expressway's route that was released on Steam from Just Trains. Terminated at Pusey. It didn't go all the way to Reading Main Station, um, which kind of sucked. Um, honestly, you had the main line from Bristol to Exeter, and then the line from Bristol to Westbury, and then from Westbury to Taunton, which continues on to Exeter, and then you had the line from Westbury up to Pusey. And then earlier this year they re-released the route, but it went all the way to Reading, so you could drive all the way from Exeter to Reading, um, and you could drive like the express services that like don't stop between um, Taunton and Reading, which is pretty cool. But because of this, you cannot buy the original Southwestern Expressways route anymore. You can only buy the Reading one, which is a little more expensive, which is fine, because you get more content, and that route's like enormous. Why aren't we doing something like that? Like, I just looked up the original Chatham mainline. It still exists. And so now you're potentially walking into a situation where, oh, I didn't realize there were differences, and now I bought the one that is, let's see, admittedly cheaper now. Although the hilarious part is that the Chatham mainline route and BR Blue Diesel and Electric's twin pack is still 45 US dollars. Even though the Chatham mainline route is now um, $20 and it's not on sale. I'm looking at it right now. So you would pay $5 more if you bought everything full price, which is well done. But why is this? And I get it, like it's complicated because of the Medway extension, and I'm sure it's not just a simple thing to just tack on the Medway extension um, to this route and then like change how that works for people. I'm sure that is um, that's not a simple matter, and I'm not trying to sit here and claim that it is. But this is honestly ridiculous. Like, and I get it. It does over double um the length of the original Chatham mainline. So I'm not even asking that it would be like heavily discounted. But this is an extension. And in the past when they've done extensions, owners of the original route have gotten discounts when they did the Soldier Summit extension to Salt Lake City, when they did the North Wales Coastline route extension to Holyhead, and when they did the South Wales coastal route from Cardiff to Swansea. People who owned the originals got a discount for buying the extension because with the extension came the original route. And so DTG was like, okay, well, we can't make people pay full price when half of the route is something they literally already own. And I like and like I get it. This is a huge route, and so like I think I can't remember now because I think if you buy the full North Wales coastal route from Crewe to Holyhead, I believe that is $40 US. North Wales coast. Ha! Never mind, you can't buy the North Wales coast route because they lost their branding deal with Arriva. So I can't look it up now. But I specifically remember No, because I bought it on the discount when they announced the Virgin Trains license was ending and all that content. So I got it at a discount. So I think the extension for me owning North Wales Coast, I think it would have been $20 had I not bought it on a discount. But I'm trying to remember. Um, and so yeah, I get it. And that about every other extension has about doubled the length of the route. Except for I think the Soldier Summit extension. I think that might have been only about another like third of the route, or half again as much, 50% more. But the Swansea extension about doubled South Wales coastal, and the Holyhead extension doubled North Wales coast. And so, yeah, that makes sense to pay an extra $20 for essentially um, double route. But since you already own half the route that other people would pay $40 for the entirety of, that makes sense. So like maybe even if it was just like 30% off for people who own the original Chatham Main Line, that I could understand because you only own about a third of this route. But there's nothing. Again, the 10% off you see is not an existing owner deal. That is a launch discount that is ending on Christmas Eve and is going to end like 3 days into the winter sale, which is this whole other thing. And so, yeah, like you've really missed the mark with this one, DTG. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like this is utterly ridiculous. So yeah, but enough about that. We're here to drive some trains, not complain about them. So we're going to uh, we're going to take a minute. We're going to breathe. We're going to regroup, and then we're going to get started with the actual stream. I'm sorry. Thank you all for taking uh 15 minutes to listen to me. I never thought this is something I would do. But that's how ridiculous I find this situation. So again, thank you, and we're gonna get started with the actual point of the stream, which is to relax, drive some trains, and enjoy our Friday evening. So. All right, and speaking of South Wales Coastal, that's where we're going to be starting tonight. So we're going to be starting with Llanwern Steel. Um, I think that's just like the scenario ID. But we're driving a Class 66. We got some loaded BYAs, and we're driving from I think it's the Pencoed passing loop to the Llanwern Steelworks. So we're going to go from Pencoed, which is I think just down the line from Bridgend. So we're going to go through Cardiff Central, and then we're going to and through Newport, and then we're going to wind up at Llanwern. Hopefully. But yeah, you're right, Jessica. Sometimes you just gotta vent. Um, in other news, it is official. The um um the poll results are in, and Mariah's Pass will be re-releasing worldwide on December 22nd, I think it is, which is great. Mariah's Pass is one of my favorite routes. It is supposed to be raining in this scenario. Um, Cardiff Control. Good afternoon, driver. The service ahead of you is about to depart pin code station. Keep an eye on the signals after you depart. Remember, your train is limited to 60 miles an hour. I'm pretty sure this was a rainy scenario when I made it. So yeah, this is. Oh no, we are actually just past Bridge End. So yeah, this would be Cardiff Control. So yeah, pin coed. And then there's Cardiff, Newport, and then yeah, Llanwern, which is where we're gonna wind up. And we are rolling backwards. We are on about a 1 in 100. I did not notice that. And that's great. Mariah's Pass is one of my favorite routes for this for the game, and so I'm super happy that that's re-releasing for everybody. Also out today is the B&O retro pack for the Baltimore for the Mountain Sub route. The Baltimore and Ohio retro pack, which is pretty cool. That comes with F7s, Baldwin Shark Noses, GP7s, and GP9s, each in multiple liveries. You have actually the Sharks might not come in multiple liveries because I don't know that they lasted, but you have the original Baltimore and Ohio livery with the two-tone blue stripes, and then you have the late era Baltimore and Ohio livery that was just a solid blue body with yellow text. Um, as far as your TS 2023 wish list goes, Jessica, that all sounds pretty interesting. Um, Parts of the Woodhead line do actually still exist. The line between we got our yellow signal here. The line between Manchester Piccadilly and Glossop and Hadfield it still exists. It is still used by Northern Train Services. The line does now terminate at Hadfield. So I guess if your point is seeing how the got a little bit of wheel slip going on, seeing how the rest of the Woodhead line would look in a modern, if it had survived into the modern day, I think that is an interesting idea. Is this thing gonna work? Yeah, it is. Okay. But yeah, that'd be interesting. As far as a backdated New York New Haven, that would be pretty cool. Because that would be you wouldn't have any OHE, overhead electric. You would just everything would be diesel hauled, except for the final stretch into New York Penn. And then an SP coastline, 1950s, 1980s, either from San Francisco to San Luis Obispo or San Luis Obispo to LA. That would be really cool. Oh, absolutely. It should be done by VNHRR. They do great work. I love the Montana Highline route, and I've also really enjoyed the um, the Springfield line. So it'd actually be really cool to have, because then you could go all the way from um, New York to Springfield, which I don't know necessarily. Well, I don't know that New Haven necessarily. Well, I guess they would have, because I think a lot of their Vermont services, or the joint services they would have run with Boston and Maine into Vermont would have, I think, would have taken that route. So yeah, that would definitely be cool. As far as the coastline, I think either of those would be great. 80s, I'm not sure about, because I don't think Pacific Surfliner services were running in the 80s on the coastline. I know the San Joaquins started in the late 80s, but I don't know that there was still a lot of passenger service outside of the Coast Starlight by that point. So I don't know how well that would work. But the 50s definitely. It would be awesome to be able to run the GS4 along the coastline on the daylight. If that's your if that's like your TS 2023 packages or package, then my only thing about that is that it's missing a German route. But I know you're not a huge fan of German trains anyway, so like if the coastline was like the exclusive American or the exclusive American route, that'd be pretty cool. Rolling stock packs, New Haven washboard MU cars, New Haven EP5, Advanced Valor 4F060 tender. Oh wait, no, I'm I'm so dumb. No, New Haven to New York was electrified, because that's the whole point of the E33 pack. Was electrified. It was from New Haven to Boston that wasn't electrified until 1999. So I'm stupid. So that would still all be under wire. But you are right. You could do FL9 from Grand Central to Springfield without having to change models. That'd be pretty cool. Advanced Fowler 4F060 tender engine with Bayer Markman coaches in red and cream. Yeah, that'd be cool. I love the. Well, I don't like love. I really like the 4F. I don't know why. I just think it's kind of cute. But it's a nice little model. But it is pretty old. So yeah, I think definitely a Bossman game, Bossman Games or a Victory Works could definitely, or a Mesh Tools could definitely take that to the next level. So that would be really cool. Southern Pacific Wagon Pack with some other routes that UP operates. And a Kodachrome pack. Facilities, engines, and Kodachrome. Definitely, although, I mean, it would definitely be cool to have some extra Southern Pacific freight cars, but I feel like DTM is doing a pretty good job. I really hope I didn't just spad there. I was not paying attention. Well, I didn't get an AWS thing. And the flower is gone. And we did get a yellow ad, so I think we're good. Oh wait, this route has TPWS. We haven't gotten an e-brake, so we're good. Oh, this should also be goods braking. And I didn't turn on the instrument lights. We are all kinds of discombobulated today. Anyway. But yeah, I think DTM's doing a pretty good job of supplying us with Southern Pacific freight cars. I just think, outside of like a couple hoppers and maybe some bulkhead flats, I don't know how much else you could put in a Southern Pacific wagon pack. And then a Kodachrome pack would be cool. There is a Kodachrome livery in the SC45 T-2 pack, but my guess is you'd also like some Santa Fe Kodachrome, which would be cool, because we definitely have a couple of routes now to use that on, and I think Santa Fe was a little more prolific about repainting locomotives into Kodachrome, because they had more money than Southern Pacific did at that point. I mean, SP definitely did paint some, but you definitely saw a lot more Santa Fe Kodachrome than you did Southern Pacific. So, but yeah, that'd definitely be cool. And then yeah, having an era appropriate route for the E33 would definitely be good, because yeah, you're right, it's definitely a little odd. Not even a little odd, it's a lot odd to run the E33 on the modern NEC, because it has the Metro North cab signaling, which that route wouldn't have had in the 50s. Yeah. What's up, Ned? Actually, it's it's funny. I just realized that thing. Cedar Hill Yard and Water Street Yard. We're passing through Clan Heron Station. We're as built up as they were on the Springfield line. Yeah, definitely, because Conrail did have a train that terminated at Cedar Hill. In up through like the 90s, I think. Certainly into the 80s. Coming up on a double yellow. So we'll be putting on some brakes because the signal block is pretty short. And so the next one we're going to pass is green. Okay. Something's goofy. Let's see what the AWS does. Okay. But yeah, I don't know specifically when the hump at Cedar Hill was removed. But I think Conrail's freight was pretty much just to serve, or just to bring in cars to serve, the local customers within, whatever radius of New Haven. Which I don't think CSX does. Because I don't think CSX actually provides service through there anymore. I think that might be Providence and Worcester now. Conrail ran electric units up until 81. Because that was when they finally dumped, because they wanted to get off the Northeast Corridor as much as possible. So that was when they finally dumped the commuter service off to agencies like SEPTA and New Jersey Transit. That they didn't want to deal with anymore. And then Conrail took down, or stopped using electric traction on its freights east of Harrisburg. Which was where the western end of Pensie's electrification was. And still is. The line to Harrisburg from Philadelphia is still electrified and is used by Amtrak on the Keystone services. Let's see, my wish list for DLC in the new year. As always, a Santa Fe Chillicothe subset in about 1995. Preferably done by either Milepost or Virtual New Haven. We got another single yellow. Just cause that's what I want. um, right before, I still want it to be Santa Fe. So with that, you'd have a brand new, totally reworked Dash 9 in War Bonnet. A GP60M, a GP60B, and a standard GP60. Gotta represent the blue and yellow. Not a B40-8, since we've already gotten that twice with Raton and Arizona Divide. But I would also like just a standard B40-8. Santa Fe used a lot of those, and I really like the look of that locomotive. That's one of my favorite locomotive designs. I can't tell you why, I just really like the way they look, and they looked especially good in Blue Bonnet. F45 we also got with Arizona Divide. And while certainly Santa Fe's 90s locomotive roster wasn't the most wild you could find, there were quite a few different models represented on it, and I'd just like to see a little bit more of it. Like, it's great that we have the SD40-2 and the F45, and the C40-8, and the B40-8, and the SC75, even if that DLC is getting up there in terms of age. But yeah, Santa Fe had a reasonably eclectic. Exactly. God, even up until like 10 years ago, CSX's was wild. So was Canadian Nationals, for that matter. We're now passing the Miskin up and down loops. And yeah, Conrails. Conrails was still using like U-23Bs by the time of the breakup. And like local service. I have to disagree with you there. The BQ23-7 is amazing and needs to be represented in this game. It's amazing, though. I love it. I mean, yeah, it's ugly as hell, but it's great. Let's see. Beyond that, I'd also like to see a modern Canadian National route. I don't have any particular preference. I think the main line either through the Thompson River Canyon, Jasper National Park, or maybe one kind of centered on Duluth would be really cool. Toronto to Winston, that might be a little big. That's not a short route. We also had a green signal there. That is not a short route by any stretch. But something along that line. Or Toronto to Sarnia. Something like that. I don't have a particular preference. That would be cool, although I think that... Pretty sure that's still a short line. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of... No. Yeah. No, the LSNI is still a thing. Yeah, the Lake Superior and Ishpeming still exists. So yeah, I don't have a strong preference one way or the other as to what we would get. But I'd just like to see a modern Canadian National route, so we could have some modern Canadian National stock. The Dash 9 is ancient. The SC70M-2, which still looks really good for how old it is still pretty ancient. I'd like to see some CN Gevos. We do have the SC60 and SC70 via travel by train. Ooh, at least their pack would be Um, but we could also get a reworked Dash 9, another Dash 8, either the C40 variety or the C40 or C40W, HLCX, GATX, FURX, CEFX, 100%. That'd be great. Would agree. Maybe even some GECX ones. Those were pretty cool. I mean, those were just CSX-8s that just had the CSX blacked out, and then it said GECX. You saw a lot of those on Canadian National a couple of years ago, when they had that motive power shortage. Ooh, that would be good. That would be good. Love to see some Rio Grande narrow gauge. Love to see some of that. I couldn't drive it, but it would be great to see. Let's see. On the British side, there are a couple I want. Ooh, yes. Main two-footers. That'd be cool. On the British front, probably the West Coast main line between Preston and Crewe. Or Preston all the way down to Stafford. Because that would fully complete the West Coast main line. Which would be great. I'd love to see that. Other than that, maybe another route that terminates at Manchester Piccadilly, since really all we have is BR Blue Woodhead and Liverpool to Manchester, neither of which really allow you to make full use of it, so maybe a Manchester to Birmingham route, I would think. Or something centered around Leeds. That'd be pretty sweet. Maybe Leeds to York. Leeds to Sheffield. Maybe between Edinburgh, Waverley, and Dundee or Aberdeen. All the way to Aberdeen might be a little much. That's quite a journey. But yeah. As far as individual DLCs, I'd like to see a Class 800 pack. Either GWR, LNER, or an officially branded Hull Trains. Could use some branded Hull Trains stuff. The ScotRail Inner 7 City HSTs. Like to see those. Not that we have a lot of room to negotiate with that. A ScotRail branded Class 156 for use on the West Highland lines. Specifically the West Highland Line extension. So it would need to have the radio electronic token block signaling functionality. Actually, I think you could also use that on the Kyle of Lochaush line, which I think did finally come to Steam. US DLC. I'd like to see some Tier 4 Gevos. You're probably right, Code Monkey. but if nothing else, they could sell the AP one. It's not like that's ever stopped them before. Speaking as someone who owns the AP Arriva Class 150 Stroke 2. And the Class 313. And plans on getting the Class 205. That's how we summon you. We just mentioned ScotRail. Would also like to see some more ScotRail EMUs. Instead of just having the ancient 385 and the slightly, well, not slightly, the 320, which AP did a 320, and we still got one from Thompson. So I don't know that AP having one necessarily rules out having a 156. But yeah, American DLC would still love to see some ET-44s in the game. Probably a BNSF, a UP, and an NS one. I'd love to see a CSX route. I don't care what the CSX route is. I want a mainline CSX route. Not freaking Miami to West Palm Beach. Not New York, New Haven. Not the freaking Pennsylvania Coal District. I want a CSX route. I don't care if it's the Bar subdivision. I don't care that we're going 16 miles over the speed limit as we come into Cardiff here. Hello, driver. I'm going to hold you at Cardiff Central until the 1350 to Hereford departs. Once it departs, you should have a clear run to Llanwern. I don't care. Or not the Hanover sub. Like, I know the Hanover sub is, like, great and highly recommended, but no! Give us, like, Sand Patch in this game. Or, like, yeah, let me consult my map here. Yeah, no, I don't care. Just give us something that's like mainline CSX. And by the way, something that's mainline Norfolk Southern, not the N line, not the freaking Coal District, not the Northeast Corridor. Like, your boy wants a place to use his NS and CSX DLC to like their fullest potential. NS specifically though would have to be the Chicago line. I would like to see the Chicago line. But well, in the case of the N line, it is a branch, and like the Pennsylvania Coal District is technically a main line, but it only sees coal trains, and then like the Northeast Corridor doesn't really see any mainline freight. It's mostly just locals. So and Miami to West Palm Beach is technically a main line, but outside of a few rock trains and one train between Hialeah Yard in Miami and Waycross, Georgia, it also doesn't see a lot of mainline freight. And same with New York, New Haven, that only sees local freights. And then they also run on the Coal District, so. And the Hanover sub is mostly, or I think actually exclusively local freights. It's not a through route anymore. I don't think it has been since Western Maryland ceased to exist. And that was in like the 80s. So no, I take that back. The 70s. So yeah. Oh, come on. Oh no, these don't have handbrakes. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Whew, we did it. And then the mountain subdivision you could technically use CSX for, but it's set in the 80s? No, it's set in the 70s. So it'd be a little out of date. And besides which, I just want the Norfolk Southern Chicago line in this game because the Chicago line is dope and busy and awesome. Let's see. As far as classic goes, I don't have. I mean, usually whatever DTM cooks up is pretty cool. I'd like to see some more 70s GEs. I'd like to see some more U-boats and some C-30-7s. Um, I would like to see a standard cab-8. We don't have any of those. I'd like to see a Chicago Northwestern route. With Chicago Northwestern stock. Also set in the 90s. Getting a bit of a show. Yes, Code Monkey. We already had a lengthy discussion about that. The corners. I forgot for a second that you're not from the southeast, and I thought you were legitimately excited for a second. But then I read the comment about a corner of southeast England they hadn't covered yet, and the sarcasm came through loud and clear. Yeah. So, not to retread this again, but essentially, it's basically just an extension of the original Chatham mainline route. That I, as an owner of the original Chatham mainline route, am expected to pay full price for. Even though about a third of the route is just retread. So, but we're not gonna get into it again. We already spent more than enough time doing that at the beginning. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I heard doors closing. Let's see what's going on. So yeah, this is Canton Depot. We rolled past that, and I failed to mention it. I just thought that was nifty. This is the line to Cardiff Queen Street and the Valley lines to Ratter, Aberdare, Treherbert. There's one more. There's one more. Murther Tideville. I hope I pronounced that right. And then this is the branch to Cardiff Bay. Oh, the 1350 to Hereford. Sounds like it's departing. Even though that should be like the 1350 to Holyhead, but I didn't know anything when I made this scenario. Please don't hate me. If you're someone who, likes Welsh trains, which, I mean, I like Welsh trains, but I didn't know anything about Welsh trains at this time. So I apologize for past me's ignorance. Just as future me will be apologizing for current me's ignorance in 5 years. Tidfill? Yeah, I got close. I'm American. I see a long way. That would make sense, though, if it's a short I in Murther. Or maybe it's like Murthier Tidfill? Because it's Yinishir, I think, on the Marty branch route. Pretty sure that's pronounced Yinishir. So then, wait, no, then it would be like Murthier. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, we got ourselves a yeller. Pretty sure it's a single yeller. It is. The R stands for relief. Did I release the handbrake? I did. So we have a 20 limit coming up, followed immediately by a 15 limit, and there is a pretty gnarly grade coming out of Cardiff Central here. So I'm going to idle the power because our loaded steel wagons are about to give us all the speed. Apply some breakage. Got a double yeller. And now we got a green. But we're still limited to 15. So no reason to get excited. And now we're cleared up to 40. So, I was thinking about the ACS 64 that has been painted into Phase 3 and has advertisement for Train Sim World on it. That is going to be available in game and will be, or actually currently is, plying American rails on the Northeast Corridor. And I just thought it was really funny that we have this current, not necessarily glut, but of brand liveried locomotives. And like, I know it's a partnership between DTG and Amtrak, but Canadian National, or not Canadian National, Canadian Pacific has has a Jivo running around liveried for Hapag Lloyd, the container shipper company, the international shipping company, that has orange containers that say Hapag Lloyd on them. And it actually looks pretty good. It's not like a super obnoxious orange. But now I'm just imagining, like, what if I did that? What if I sponsored like a Class 66, and it's just this orange locomotive with like just my face slapped on it? I don't know what that's about. Like, I need this stream that like literally 5 people watch to get more traction. Hey, Freightliner, have I got a deal for you? Which I guess technically that'd be Genesee and Wyoming, but still. We did pass a double yellow back there, and so should be probably mindful of that instead of imagining ego boosting scenarios for myself. Um, on the right are the Pengam reception sidings. On the left is a first Great Western Class 158, and in front of us is another double yellow. We are also on the up relief line. To our right is the down relief line, and to our left are the up and down fast lines. FI2, TF2, portal. I don't remember the orange box collection, but I can imagine what you're getting at. And yeah, just imagine, but like instead of an orange truck, it's an orange locomotive, and it says the orange box. Instead of saying the orange box, it just has this. And you know, the horrors that entails. It was a single yellow, it just popped back up to a double yellow, so the speed should be pretty good, keeping us a couple of blocks behind the passenger train. That should definitely be at on the fast lines, but yeah, but I don't. Well, I was gonna say that I don't know that I could do it justice because I've never done reskins before, but I think having it look absolutely terrible would only add to it. Something to think about in my copious amounts of free time. Actually, I don't do that bad for free time. So. HST hype. if I ever buy TSW2. We'll have to look at that. Because that at least has the livery editor. Is it now? Well. Ooh, tankers. We do have a green signal now. Which means we can throw her into full whack and let her rip. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't surprise me that the livery editor is an unpleasant experience. Imagine using controller. This post was made by the mouse and keyboard gang. Passing Wentloog container terminal on the right. Oh, unless you mean just like all the controls, even on PC, feel nerfed because you can use them with controllers on other platforms or even on PC. Hey, that passenger train's on the right track. Passing the other end of Wentloog now. Oh god. Yeah, no, that sounds horrible. Another 2.5 miles to go to Alexandra Dock Junction. We are coming up on a double yellow. See if it jumps. Oh, so right on power. Put on some braking. Another double yellow. Get her down to about 40. Single yellow now. I can see. Oh, actually, nope. The signal just jumped to a single yellow, so there's still a single yellow, so we're still going to be dropping our speed. We just passed a Morpeth board warning for an upcoming 40-mile-an-hour speed limit, which we are already well below. Well, not well below, but below. Down to 20. Should be a reasonable speed. See, the signal ahead is off. I think it might be a double yellow. But we're not gonna count our signals until they hatch. Or, wait, that's not right. Up ahead on the right, and actually to our immediate right, are Alexandra Dock Junction sightings. Good God. And on the left is the diverging branch to Ebwavale, which for once when running one of these scenarios actually exists in this time period. That was a double yellow, so give it a little bit of power. It's a very empty Alexandra Dock Junction. Alexandra Junction Dock. Whatever. I give up. It's a dock, there's a junction, there's sightings. More sightings to the right, as well as the branch to the actual docks. Or no, wait, is that the actual? Oh wait, no, that's just the head shunt. Or the Cordy Bella sighting of that. Coming in from the left is the other cord from the Ebwa Vale branch. And up ahead are the Newport tunnels. We're coming up on a single yellow. Which probably means we're about to be held outside of Newport Station. If I had to hazard a guess. Oh, signal just jumped to green. Ah! Who needs your slipping wheels? So we're not too far from the end now. We just have to get through Newport Station, past the junction with the Welsh March is line, East Usk sidings, and then we will be turning off into the Llanwern Steel works. Now passing over the River Usk. Merging to the left is the Welsh Marches line up to Hereford and Shrewsbury. Up ahead on the right are East Usk sidings. What's up, Maggie? Long time no see. How are you doing this fine Friday evening? double action going on here. Cool. Can't handle all this at once. Ooh, that's not good. What'd you do? Diverging to the right is the branch to somewhere. I don't know. Never bothered to look into it. Got an upcoming 15-mile-an-hour speed limit for turning into the... There you go, Code Monkey. 15-mile-an-hour speed limit for turning into the Steelworks. We have our feather, indicating we are diverging to the right. And at this point, Llanwern arrival. I don't think I need to set any... Oh, no, I do, but it looks like... Apparently! You sure you didn't leave, like, knives in it? Or something? We're not gonna get down to 15 in time. I can tell you that right now. We're not gonna quite be doubling it. Quite. Hello, driver. The switches are set for Llanwern arrival. You can park up the train there. Well, that's good. Assuming it stays on the rails, because, you know, I'm terrible at braking. It's almost like you need to pay attention when you drive trains. I mean, that's what they tell me, at least. That sucks. I didn't even think about that. No, yeah, that would be the worst part. Indeed, Twix. Oof. Also, Twix, you just been lurking there? You haven't been harassing me? What are you doing, bro? Every week, all I hear is you complain about how I only stream when you're working. And I was like, well, you could just watch the VODs. And you're like, yeah, but I can't harass you through the VOD. And I'm like, fair enough. So you get a golden opportunity to harass me on a Friday. And yet, it's been an hour and a half, and you haven't trolled me once. Freaking slipping, man. Freaking slipping. I mean, I got a few hours. You got like 2. Maybe. I mean, yeah, you do have to go get her a new one, Maggie. That is... I mean, shower curtains aren't that expensive anyway. It's not like you're bankrupting yourself. Also, next time, maybe just don't set your washing machine to bored cat, and you'll be fine. My god, why is it 1.5 miles to our destination? Riveting gameplay! I mean, fair enough. I mean, Target should still be open. I mean, unless you're not going home tonight anyway. Yo, is that some tractor action? Yo, we got some tractor action! That's my rendition of Madness by Muse as played on a Class 66 horn. You're all welcome for how annoyed you are right now. And we still have over a mile to go. Why are they tracks for this so long? I got places to be. I mean, not really, but like... Oh my god, and it goes down to 10? To 10? Are you kidding me, Wales? God. Imagine designing your railway infrastructure to inconvenience me in a game. Unreal. Unreal. I blame British Rail for this. Not Wales. I'm sorry, Wales. I don't blame you. I blame British Rail. Which, obviously, isn't run by Welsh people. Because then the British would have to respect the Welsh. And this is now going places I probably don't want it to go. Who would ever want to take heavy trains long distances at 15? Hey! 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 The underpass is 25, not 15. Yeah, so what? It's a 140-mile route, and you drive like 70 of those miles at 25 miles an hour. I don't see what the big deal is. Couldn't even get down to 10 in time, and we were only going 12. Guys, I'm so good at this game. I do think these BYA wagons are pretty cool. I really like them. On the right, depending on when it was built, there's not a rolling stock place. That's pretty cool. Hell yeah, dude. Still rocking that Wisconsin Central livery. Such a good livery. I saw a picture on Reddit the other day of Wisconsin Central's lone FP45. And obviously it was in this livery. Shed and transfer station, but no connection to the network. Ah, okay. That's interesting. CAF, that's the Spanish one, right? I think. Because they have... I thought they built some coaching order for some TOC recently. And I think they have a couple contracts here in the States. They might be the ones contracted to build Oh. Is it them or Siemens that are building the new Midwestern coaches? No, CAF are the ones that are building the new Viewliners. They have a factory up in upstate New York. I think it's in Elmira. I did not see the photos of Caltrain 938. What happened there? But yeah, the Wisconsin Central FP45. Also, we're in the siding. This can end now. And it's basically this, but you know, on a big American locomotive, and it says Wisconsin Central, and it only has a 4-digit number. But it looked awesome. Actually, honestly, I was never that big a fan. Ah, okay. Oh, that explains that mod that was released for TF2 on the workshop. I was like, why am I looking at a Caltran AEM-7? That's not a thing. Apparently, that is a thing. But yeah, I was never a big fan of the Wisconsin Central livery on the FP45s. I don't know why. It just didn't look quite right. It looked a lot better on the SD45s, in my opinion. And the Jeeps. Honestly, the only thing it didn't look good on was the Fs. It didn't even look that bad on the Fs. But yeah, I don't know. Because it looks fine on the 66. Good job. You can park up here and have a break. Scenario complete. I remember nothing of this run. So that's good. And we didn't spad. So that is good. So, yeah. I don't got much else to say about that, so. Be right back. All right. We're heading back across Lake Oldie Pond to Wyoming. On the Sherman Hill route. And we're running the scenario bad order. A bad order is railroad slang for a car set out because of a defect. You're in charge of a pair of Union Pacific GP38-2s on a mission to pick up a pair of bad-ordered hoppers set up by a grain train earlier in the day at Perkins. However, work on track 2 means that trains are running in both directions over track 3 today. As a low-priority move, you'll be put in the siding a couple of times. Good luck. Use to test the wires on the electrification from San Francisco to San Jose. That's what I figured. I didn't think they were going to be using them in revenue service. It'd be cool if they did. But yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. Nah, Chatham main lines. Nah. UP Laramie sub-dispatch. UP 503 West, this is dispatch. Make sure your switches are set and you may depart. You'll need to request permission, press tab to enter the main. Usage, though? Not sure what you mean there, Code Monkey. I do need to hit J. Let's see. Boop. 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 Instrument lights. Apparently you can... Wait, what? Oh. Apparently you can only open half the window. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, bad order cars are always picked up, especially because a lot of times they have a load. But they can't be left in a consist, because otherwise the defect could escalate and cause a derailment. So they're usually um, set out on a siding and repaired, especially if it's a minor defect. Well, like minor enough. But they usually repair them, and then they can be picked up either by another train or a dedicated move like this, which probably isn't super realistic because then you're taking up valuable capacity for no reason. But it was fun. I wanted an excuse to use the GP38 that came with San Francisco, San Jose Peninsula. That's the route. And I don't know. I have hit or miss luck with making local scenarios. Or scenarios that are supposed to be based on local freights, so this felt like a decent compromise. We just passed the Steam program roundhouse, that in real life is full of crap. Well, not crap, but you know, part of Union Pacific's heritage fleet. That's where Big Boy 4014, Challenger 3985, and FEF-3 844 are all maintained lovingly by the employees of the Steam program. Yep, defect, hotbox, dragging equipment, all that good stuff. Speed limit is now up to 20. Ooh, we're getting overtaken. Yes. Good old Ed Dickens. I believe he's the head of the UPC program, right? I know he's a higher up. I can't remember if he's the head or if he's just like the lead maintenance guy. Which might honestly be one and the same. So we had yellow over yellow, meaning we're coming up on a diverging route. And we have red over green over red. So we're going to be moving one track over from main 4 to main 3. Well, we got train on the... I think that's the BNSF Front Range sub through Cheyenne. No. It might be a different one. I can't remember. Speed limit is up to 30. And is now going up to not 40, apparently. Oh, there, now it's up to 40. Whew, tons of action. So we are on track 3. To our left is track 4. To our right is tracks 1 and 2. Speed limit is now up to 50. So to our right and continuing straight on are tracks 1 and 2 via the original Transcontinental Main Line, more or less, up and over Sherman Summit directly to Laramie. We are going to be sticking on track 3 with track 4 down to Spear, and then continuing to proceed west over the less steep track, but more circuitous track 3. Since Perkins is a siding on track 3. But track 3 was built for, is known as the Harriman Cutoff. It was built in, it was opened in 1953, and basically was designed and built to maintain a steady 0.8% climb to Sherman Summit. The grades on the main line reach up to 1.5%, which is pretty gnarly for heavy trains. And since this route is pretty busy, you don't really want your main line being clogged up like that. And so track 3 was built to give, and just popping into existence there is the fertilizer facility at Wyken. The Harriman Cutoff was built between Cheyenne and Dale Junction. Yeah, Dale Junction. And again, maintains a 0.8% westbound climb, which is slightly more advantageous for heavy westbound trains. Um, Still in use today. Still serving its original purpose. And has the added benefit of just providing a bit more capacity on a route which sees not every train heading out west, but a good portion of them. Anything bound for the Bay Area, from or Portland, from just about anywhere in the Midwest, is going to use this, as well as a few trains bound for Los Angeles, especially again those from the Midwest. Anything from the South, Texas, Louisiana, would use the Sunset Corridor to Los Angeles. It would definitely be great if Amtrak still regularly ran over Sherman Hill. I would have to agree with you there, Jessica. It's not the most amazing scenery you'll ever see, but I mean the rock formations are pretty cool, and it'd just be cool to still have passenger service over really any part of the original transcontinental main line. Well, I guess the route over Donner, west of Salt Lake City, or west of Ogden, it still is. And right, the route is historical. I mean, once you get east of Ogden, no part of the original transcontinental main line has passenger service anymore. The California Zephyr uses the original Rio Grande between Salt Lake City and Denver, and then east of Denver it is original CB&Q all the way to Chicago. So, bit of a shame. Indeed, Twix. In fact, now that I think about it, this is pretty much the only major east-west rail corridor not to have a regular Amtrak service. The Sunset Corridor has the Southwest, or the Sunset Limited. The original Santa Fe Transcon has the Southwest Chief, west of Kansas City. Well, not west of Kansas City, west of Berlin. And then the Northern Transcon has the Empire Builder west of the Twin Cities. You would be correct, Jessica. The last regular service was the Pioneer, which ran... Ooh. I think that was actually routed off of Sherman Hill in the 90s. Or, no. In the 70s. Because it was combined with the California Zephyr and Desert Wind east of Ogden. We're now coming through Spear. The line to Denver, the Greeley sub, diverged at right, or at left. UP 503 West, this is dispatch. I'll be holding you at Spear while I clear up some eastbound traffic. Yes. Only, yeah. Or major track work on the Moffat Tunnel route. But yeah, I don't remember, because I know the Pioneer was discontinued in, I think it was 1997. Passing a yellow signal. because I know it used UP between Salt Lake City and Portland, or Ogden and Portland. But I don't remember if the Pioneer. Well, wait, no, because if it was rerouted off in the late 70s, the last regular service to use Sherman Hill would have been the San Francisco Zephyr until 1983, when Rio Grande bought into Amtrak and the train was moved back onto the original Rio Grande and the California Zephyr name was restored. So I'm just gonna have to Google it. Pioneer. Pioneer. Let's see. The Pioneer began exchanging a Seattle to Chicago through coach with the San Francisco Zephyr on April 26, 1981. This was supplemented by a through sleeping car on October 31st, 1982. When the Denver Rio Grande Western Railroad decided to join Amtrak in 1983, Amtrak renamed the San Francisco Zephyr to the California Zephyr, shifted it south to the Moffat Tunnel route, and changed its interchange point with the Pioneer from Ogden to Salt Lake City, the Pioneer's terminus. On June 17, 1991, the Pioneer's terminus and California Zephyr interchange point was moved to from Salt Lake City to Denver. Its route was changed. Now I lost my place. Oh, and the route was changed to use the Union Pacific's overland route in Wyoming, which had last seen service in 1983, and a bus was added between Salt Lake City and the Pioneer at Ogden. This change was made for two reasons. The combined California Zephyr Desert Wind Pioneer consisted of 16 supercars, the longest such train Amtrak had ever operated. Amtrak required at least 4 AMD F40PH locomotives to haul this behemoth between Chicago and the Moffat Tunnel route, and between Denver and Salt Lake City. Splitting the Pioneer in Denver reduced the load on along this segment. Faster running time over the overland route allowed for a more reasonable departure time from Seattle. The Pioneer was reduced to thrice weekly on November 4th, 1983. So, yeah. Okay. So the Pioneer did run over the overland route until its demise in 1997. Oh, it would be so nice if we had Tennessee Pass on this game. Imagine, in some Southern Pacific AC 4400s, so we could, like, assault that puppy with 9 AC 4400s on, like, a 16,000-ton coal train, and you're just listening to these beasts roar. Oh, that'd be great. Indeed it would. Indeed it would. Saluda. Actually, there's a Saluda on Workshop. I haven't checked it out since I'm not the biggest fan of Southern, and he wants to spend 90 minutes placing that contest. It doesn't take that long. It's a coal train. All you gotta do is plonk down your locomotives, pick your coal car, and then just go. Until it's at a reasonable length. Yes, that was what I was getting at. This train's a little bit long. Let's see, I was looking at the other end. Yep. Pretty long. But just... You all can pretend it's not the case, but you come here for the terrible humor. Yes, and then a set of end-of-train DPUs. Well, if we're talking about the Tennessee Pass ones. Honestly, the most work is setting up like a manifest like this, because you can't just... Because then it's not a manifest, it's a unit train. So like this probably took like 15 minutes to put together. Oh! Right. Yeah, no, I get what you mean. DPUs that work. Technically, they should be. They're harder in real life because then you have to factor in... Nope, we got a green. You have to factor in, oh, I can't think of the word. Train makeup. Because there was a really interesting article a few months ago in Trains. About derailments caused by improper train makeup. Because essentially, there was a derailment on the Canadian National that they determined was caused by the fact that a bunch of loaded cars were put behind a bunch of empty cars. Diverging to the right here is the Borey Cutoff, which joins tracks 1 and 2 back up at Control Point Borey. Right. And essentially, and I think it was somewhere in Canada. And it was on a kind of a hilly route. It wasn't a straight up and down, it was like a sawback. And basically, the repeated motion of the slack running out on the uphills, because all the weight would sag and stretch out the coupler slack. And then you would crest the hill, and then all of the heavy loaded cars would run back in against the light empty ones, and then eventually cause the train to derail. So you have to be mindful of that kind of thing. And if you're also not careful, any model railroader will be familiar with string line derailments. When your train is going around a curve and it kind of just, it's like a string, it just pulls itself straight. I have earbuds laying here to demonstrate better. So imagine this is a top-down view. So this is your train on a curve, and then it just does that, and it derails. A common malady of any model railroader. And basically that's caused, as you can imagine, by two sets of heavy loaded cars spliced by a bunch of light empty cars. And so, especially when you're going around a curve, the force of the loaded cars just kind of pull, because physics. I'm an engineer. Because physics, the loaded cars essentially, it wants to return to a straight line. So, it just kind of pulls the empty cars into a straight line, and then right off the track. Yeah, no, NS on Horseshoe Curve. You're right, Jessica. I forgot that happened again recently. 50.9. We're going via MK. MK Main 3 West. MK. We gotta get through what? MK, Lynch. Oh, we do have to get through Harriman. I thought Harriman was the last one before Dale, but nope. Apparently Perkins is. And I probably picked Perkins because the west end of Harriman Siding is like my favorite place on this route. For no particular reason. I just really like the way it looks. The Jeep might have had a long week. And the Jeep just might be a little bit tired. Uh, cut his brakes so he can sleep and never wake up again? Oh, man. Passing the east end of MK Siding here. Um, Delightful is one word for it, sure. Mm-hmm. uh, that's a good one, Code Monkey. Yeah, good old Marvin the Martian. I was never super big into Looney Tunes. My dad's always really a big fan of Foghorn Leghorn. Um, and not Not because he was like racist, because a lot of Foghorn cartoons were pretty racist. I actually don't know why my dad likes Foghorn, but he has like a bunch of Foghorn Leghorn memorabilia, and because he was talking about it last time I saw him, and he was mentioning the fact that Foghorn Leghorn um isn't really like promoted as much as like other Looney Tunes cartoons, and again because a lot of them were like super racist. And I mean, I've never seen an episode of Foghorn Leghorn, but um, my dad bought a DVD collection of them, and apparently it's bad enough that there's a disclaimer at the beginning that says, "Hey, a lot of these aren't uh, good." But essentially, to not include them and sweep them under the rug and pretend they don't exist is to pretend the issues of the time um didn't exist, which obviously helps nobody. So basically, they're saying, yeah, a lot of these are going to be offensive, but um, you just need to be prepared for that. So, but I thought that was pretty classy on Warner's part. Um, it's the correct attitude. Indeed, indeed. Well, I think part of it is like an access um for maintenance, because we in the middle of nowhere. Because it's Wyoming, and quite a bit of this route is surrounded by private property. And so, if like you need to drive to access a point along this route, you might not be able to get to that point without trespassing on private property. Um, and plus, or if a crew dies on hours along here, and they need to tie down the train and say Lynch sighting, then the crew van can get to Lynch sighting again without having to trespass on private property. To come pick up the crew and then deliver a new one when there's one ready. It really doesn't feel like we're going 50. We're just kind of moseying along. far do we have to go to Perkins? UP 503 West, this is dispatch. We'll be putting you in the hole at Lynchfern eastbound. We have 19 1/3 miles to go to Perkins. You have yellow over lunar, indicating we are going to be turning off at the next signal onto a reduced speed, which technically I think the speed limit in the sightings is 20, but lunar indicates 15 on Union Pacific. I also thought lunars were only for yards. Lunar being the white light that was on the lower signal head. It says 30. Don't be fooled. It's less than that. And it's also not marked. Like I said, it's actually 20. And then now it's randomly back up to 30. So, you know, good track work, bros. That signal gonna clear? guess not. Actually, a lot of these types of intermodal trains are also pretty lengthy to set up, especially using the 40-foot well cars from Montana Highline, since you have to set up the articulation. Um, but using the 48-foot well cars is a little bit easier now that they have the random generation, because then you can just pick one of the styles and then spam click until you're happy. And then kind of same with the intermodal spine cars from Raton Pass and Arizona Divide. They take a little bit of time to set up. But it's definitely worth it, and I would much rather have it be a pain than not have articulated intermodal freight cars in the game. UP503 West, this is Dispatch. We'll be holding you in the siding at Harriman for another eastbound. Also, once you reach Perkins, you'll have to wait for a few trains before returning to Cheyenne. You'll need to set the switch for Perkins House Track upon your arrival. The redneck thing is a new one on me, but yes. It is good old Xmas. That's one for all you Futurama fans out there. I do. I am going home for the weekend to spend it with my parents and brother. So I have next Friday and then next Monday off. So the 24th and the 27th. So yeah, be good. The Christmas pizza. It's gonna be real awkward if that's a Futurama reference I'm forgetting. Since I brought Futurama up. Cookie crust, marshmallow sauce, and chocolate chips with graham crackers on top. Ooh, dang, that sounds good. It sounds like. Look, Code Monkey, not everything can be Christmas haggis, okay? Now. Settle down, kids. So we're going to have our Amber over Lunar. That's better. The hugs are appreciated. Oops. Alright, well, we've come about halfway since No, we've come pretty much halfway since I last checked, so... That's good. Yeah, the scenario is not as interesting as it could be, because at least if this was like an actual train, we could do some nice run-bys. And that'd be kind of cool, but I don't know. Light engine run-bys are always kind of underwhelming. Sticking with that madness theme. Yeah, we're not gonna get down to 20. Barely gonna get down to 30. Yeah, we didn't quite get down to 30 either. This is Sparta! Oh. No, this is Patrick! Now, don't forget poop. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, good. We're now running into the siding. Because that would make this take even longer. So yeah, this is the west end of Harriman siding. Like I said earlier, one of my favorite places on the route. No earthly reason. I guess maybe because there's like some trees. And like none of the rest of the route has trees. It's about the only reason I can think of. Knew that was gonna happen. Couldn't let me enjoy my angle. She's talking about the Springfield line from New Haven to Springfield by Virtual New Haven. Oh dang, no DPU on that. It's an American DLC. So you are probably right to go with no. We have our green. Let's get out of here. Right. That reminds me. So, in regards to the Baltimore and Ohio retro pack that I mentioned, 2 hours ago at the beginning of this stream, 2.5. Why does it have both a GP7 and a GP9? I mean, yes, they are different locomotives, but they're functionally the same. And that's been one of the weird things for me about the retro packs lately. Like, the Western Maryland one was fine. I have to double check, because you got something. Well, no doy. Western Maryland retro pack. I have to remember what all you got. I don't remember. So you got the F7A, the F7B, the GP9, and the GP35. That makes sense. Like, that's a good assortment of rolling stock. Then you got the chassis one, which I need to look up what all came in that now, because I don't remember. Chassis system retro pack. So the chassis system retro pack comes with the GP9, the GP35, and then an SW7, an SW9, and an SW1200. Why does it need 3 switchers? I mean, like, it's for the Hanover sub, so like I get it. Like, there's a lot of opportunities for switchers, but why? Especially again, the SW7 and the SW9, different locomotives, but very similar. I don't get it. And, like, it's nothing to knock on the packs. Like, I don't own the packs. I do plan on getting the packs. Like, it's fine. Like, I don't have an issue with it. I'm just very confused. Like even 2. Like the SW9 and the SW1200. Like, just to shake it up. I mean, that's probably true. And I guarantee you, like, unless there's like some very minor differences, I can almost guarantee you one's just a reskin of the other. Because there's almost no visual differences between a GP9 and a GP7. The only major difference was the GP7 had 1500 horsepower, the GP9 had 1750. Which makes no difference in the context of the simulator. So it's just weird. The last couple of ones have kind of bothered me like that. I find it weird. Is basically the main thing. Like, I don't know why it had to come with 3 switchers. That'd be like if the BR Blue pack had come with the Class 03, the Class 08, and a Class 09. Like, sure. Exactly. But again, I can even see too, because there's like a lot of opportunity for switching on the Hanover sub, because like there's a lot of major industries that you could conceivably have a dedicated switcher for. So like if you're making, you know, scenarios for that, which I think the Chessie one comes with like 10. 9. Comes with 9. And Chasing comes to Hagerstown, WM06, working westward, gathering the granules, Hanover visitors, something borrowed, something blue, Chassis simple BH1, BH1. So, I don't know, if like 4 or 5 of them are switching, yeah, you might get bored of using the same switcher, you know, 4 times. So I can at least understand having 2, but again, 3? And I don't know, it probably not too much longer, depending. I don't know how much track work necessarily needs to be done to do that. If you're doing a lot of track work on that, then it might take a while. But I don't know how many differences there are between the the set era and the modern day, so I can't really answer that. I set that switch, right? Did I say you could do that? Yeah, I did. Okay. Might have to tab the signal. Now, granted, there might be a difference if, like, it's a Steam-equipped GP7 or GP9 specifically for passenger services. That's really the only difference I could see, because then that at least would be a difference. Because then you'd have the... Well, yeah, that too, Jessica. And signal configurations, because the signaling layout might have changed, especially with track layout changes. But then, because then at least you'd have the big exhaust stack for the steam heat on whichever one, and if Baltimore and Ohio like only use steam heated like GP7s, for example, then yeah, having a separate GP9 makes sense. I don't know if that's the case. I haven't looked too deep into the pack. So that's the only okay, we don't have to tab. That's the only situation in which I could see that. But other than that, the DER. Oh, yeah. Which I don't think the Mountain Sub has cab signaling, so. Yeah, but outside of that, yeah, I don't know why you'd need both a GP9 and a GP7. It just seems a little redundant. I mean, when you could have picked something, I don't want to say better, but because you wouldn't need a GP30 because there's already that marketplace pack. But you could do like a GP35. Or hell, in E. But then you would have needed to include coaches. So, maybe not in E. Or even... Or an SD45! You're right! Or an SD40. Well, yeah, exactly. Again, So it'd be like if you included, and this isn't a great example. It's like if you had like a BR pack and it included, you know, I don't know, a 47, um, a 50, a class 47, a class 50, and then um, a class 45 and a class 44. Like, and like, again, it's not a great example because there's at least some more visual differences between the 44 and the 45. Oh, I guess I don't know that that's too functionally removed from how it's set now in the 50s. Like, I don't know that especially the early 60s. Like, I think you can get away with that in the current configuration. So, I mean, either I do like the 40s with the semaphore signals, or I do something in like the 80s, so at least it's closer to modern day. But anyway, back to my original point. So, I mean, yeah, there's like visual differences between the 44 and the 45, but do I need two peaks? Like, you know, maybe ditch the 45 and give me I don't know, like a 56. I don't know. Like that's kind of my point. Ooh, that'd be good. Looks like we have a bit of time to kill. Let's take a break. Scenario complete. Alright, and that is not all. As, of course, in the words of Billy Mays. But wait! There's more. Ooh, mysterious. So the talk recently of Majestic Falls reminded me of the one scenario I've actually successfully made for this route, which was a Majestic Christmas, which I made for the Christmas scenario competition um, in like 2016. So, a while ago. But yeah, I figured since this is technically the Christmas stream, because there's not going to be a stream next week, I would do this. It's 2 days before Christmas. You are in charge of the Majestic Falls Railroad's annual Christmas train. Led by UP SC70 Ace 1988, honoring the Katy, you will take 3 coaches of excited children and their families up to Berlin to meet with Santa. You are the priority train, so you should make good time. And again, this is for the awesome Majestic Falls route on Workshop. Would highly recommend you download it, especially with Mariah's Pass coming back. That's a dependency for this route, and so once Mariah's Pass is available, buy it and then download this on Workshop. Good afternoon. You are cleared to depart Morgan Yard. Everything is winding down for the holidays, but there are a few trains out there. Since you are a priority, however, you shouldn't have any issues on your run to Bolin. If you pay attention, you might see something special on the UP BNSF joint line to your left. As though we didn't hear it. Honestly, he should. I love it. I love this route. I love Adriana County. Even Blackwood Creek is a great route. But yeah. Yeah, no, even with unbranded Conrail, it wouldn't be terrible, so. Oh, speed limit's up to 30. What do you mean sounds terrible, Twix? Oh. Ah, what would you know? You're not even a rail fan. That was an attempt at a 14 mil. But yeah, I wish I could make more scenarios for this route, but anytime I try to make like any kind of like switching or like local work, the scenario just won't work. Like the coupling instructions just kind of die. I don't know what the problem is. So I would love to make more scenarios for this route, but I can't come up with a lot of end-to-end runs since that's not really what this route is set up for. If I get an idea for another one for Adriana County, I would absolutely love it. I'd love to, but again, that's going to come down to how well any coupling instructions want to work. Since you do, I mean, you can do an end-to-end run, because I made an end-to-end run, but there's so many great switching opportunities on that route. I'd just really like to I just need to come up with an idea that, you know, I want to do and would, you know, hold my interest. That would be something. I really do like the horn on these, even if it is recycled from the Norfolk Southern one and isn't totally accurate to UP. But I don't care. It sounds so good. Is there a passenger view on these? Oh, there is. Hanging out the vestibule. This also really gives you an idea for the excellent little touch of this being kind of like rough, uneven track. I love that. You don't get it quite as much in the cab. You get a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think the main line on Adriana County might be a little smoother, but like the actual Adriana County Railroad and then some of the spurs, I think, definitely have kind of the beat up feel. Speed limit's going up to 40, so you're really going to get a sense of it now. Penn Central, this is good for like 80. This is also making the bold assumption that Adriana County has track that can support an SD70 but I would really hope it does since it also has CTC, so... Ooh, interesting. I once had a scenario planned out that would have taken you all the way from Rand. From what is that? Wickery Hill up here, all the way down to Morgan, on a local freight, set in the '60s on the UP in Idaho, as kind of like an outpost on um, Union Pacific's once massive branch line network out in Idaho. But unfortunately, I just couldn't get all the instructions to work. And it was really disheartening because that scenario took ages to set up with all of the drop-off and pickup instructions. And then there's ones where, yeah, it's just a short line. Ooh. Interesting. I like that. So we got Moonstone Bridge. Speed limit is dropping to 30. Coming up. As we enter the double track at Whitmore by the paper mill. The idea of an Amtrak coach on a mixed train is quite interesting. Got a flashing yellow over red, which probably indicates diverging. And yep, I can see a red over green up ahead. Uh-oh. Flood damage. That's not a good sign. Well, that's definitely not cleared for double stacks. Apparently, in this version of this version of the line, it's quite a big fan of ex-Pennsylvania GP7s. Now that would be something. Looks like it's just a log train. Interesting. Speed limit is back up to 40. And we're going to be passing Gilbert with its power plant and coal tipple, as well as a small engine service facility. Once a bus replacement rail service. You may have heard of it. Is it Pacers? Since the line only saw 3 coal shuttles, a local way freight, and a logging job. It's highly considered. Ooh, a twist! I figured BNSF would have been like, yo, this line sees no service and you want us to run a passenger train over it? What are you doing? So the Gilbert Power Plant is on the left, and it is of course also rail served. And we're coming up on the coal loadout up here on the right. Speeding a little bit. Right. MJR dispatch. As you can see, everything's been pretty much shut down here at Gilbert. We're going to be ready for the 26th, though, when everything gets going again. Don't forget the speed limit at the south end has a 30-mile-per-hour limit. I'm sure that means north end. Ooh, some SD40-2s. Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty cool, though. Pretty cool of them. Nice. That is pretty sweet. So now passing over the power station branch, and is going to split off right up here at this junction. So we're coming up on that 30 that we were warned about. Up here on the right is the service facility. Oh, nice. Didn't quite get down to 30 in time. So, yep, there's a bunch of tied up locomotives, especially of the ex-Burlington Northern persuasion. And the speed limit is back up to 40. Gotta get that RDC. I like that though. That's good. As they should. I don't think I can play Muse's Madness on this one. Nah, it doesn't really work. Unfortunate. excursion zone. Pretty dope. I always forget the whistle boards on this route are pretty close to the associated crossings. I have a yellow over red, probably because we need to set the switch onto the Berlin branch. Or no? What is it? No, we are being held. Being taken over by the county of Majestic, being celebrated the county. Nice. So this is Augustine. I think is this. Okay, yeah. This is the Augustine loadout. This is the last train out of Augustine until the 26th. But as you can see, everything is ready. So we will have to stop at this signal up here. As we all would be. I mean, honestly, I'd be thrilled if SPNS 700 just did excursions. I haven't done one in a while. I'm pretty sure that was going under its 1500 day inspection, though. Last I was aware. While on a dig. I like it. Let's see, hopefully that train is moving. Yep, okay, good. Oh, Pierce Tunnel. I like how we're supposedly priority, but, you know, that revenue freight, though. I love a happy ending. would be a pretty fun route to be able to operate steam on, though, I gotta say. Ooh, 40 hoppers. Dang. I think the biggest problem, though, is that there's not really any Y facilities on this route that I can think of. Except for, like, all the way up at Wickery Hill. There we go. Yeah, so there's the Y at Wickery Hill. Yeah, there's a runaround. There's not. And then there's the turntable in Morgan. But there's not really... I don't know. I think you'd want a Y, I guess is my point. I mean, yeah. Ah, okay. I like how it's LMOR921. That's a clever little detail. Yeah. Yeah, for real. I bought concert tickets for March, and now I'm not convinced that's going to happen. Ooh, nice. Oh, did we get some of that double header action? Like I even need to ask. Probably coming up on that tunnel. Yep. That's the only problem with these, is the fact that the ditch lights flash. Well, that and the headlights don't actually work on the Katy and the Southern Pacific unit. But besides that, oh dang, triple header. That's the dream, dude. That is the dream. No, legit though, I'd love to see a preserved steam triple header. It doesn't even matter the lasher, just that would be so awesome. We're now coming up on Salvatore, which has another small locomotive facility as well as a couple of tipples, and I thought it also had a coal slurry loadout, but I could be wrong. It seems I am wrong. I tell you though, the Majestic Falls Railroad certainly is not hurting for power. Oh, a race, huh? As you can see, everything is done here at Salvatore 2. The engine facility is full up. This was the last Bolin. That was the last Bolin turn for a few days. Remember, the branch has a 20-mile-per-hour limit. We've got even more locomotives. Sheesh. That's crazy. So we're going to be turning on to the Bolin branch. The route does continue further on to to a few logging facilities. In an incredibly scenic and remote part that you kind of snake along a riverbed, and there's a lot of trees. It's a really great part of the route, as well as the open pit mine at Bonnie River, which is like fully modeled. It's a massive facility, and it's so cool that he modeled that. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Is it 20? Where does he turn on the branch? Okay, no, it's not. So yeah, I don't know if there's enough range. Oh, pull up in front of the Christmas tree. That's where Santa will be. Oh yeah, sweet. So yeah, this is the Bonnie River mine. Like, it's just incredible that he did this. Like, and like all of this like terraforming he would have done by hand. Like, oh yeah, completely double tracked. That makes sense. Like, the amount of work that clearly went into this route is just amazing. Also, Bolin is a great little town. Oh my god, I forgot I added all the little Christmas lights. So if you're wondering, these came from the Game of Gnomes, I think. Oh my god, did I even add all the Christmas lights to this? I forgot I put this much work into this. Oh my god. That's so cool. Whoops. Oh, no handbrakes. Yeah, we're gonna overshoot her just a bit. You gotta walk for your visit with Santa. Yeah, I totally forgot I decorated the town. That's so cool. That is really, really cool. A wonderful Christmas surprise. Scenario complete. Why not go say hi to Santa? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. That's gonna do it. Again, um, thanks everyone for putting up with the rant at the start. Again, that's never something I thought I'd do. That's not something I'd ever thought I'd do. But it had to be said in this case. So yeah. But other than that, thank you for watching. Like I said, this is the last train stream for 2021. Trains are back Friday, January 7th. I'm off next week for the Christmas holiday. And then 2 weeks from now, we'll be doing the New Year's Eve Stardew Valley stream, starting at the usual time and probably going till about midnight. Yeah, do. So yeah, I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas. Um, Thanks again for watching. As a reminder, everything you see here can be played on Workshop. Link to that is in the homepage on Twitch, and in the description of YouTube. You know to find all the links. Um, Make sure you like the Facebook page, because there's stuff there. And you as well, Code Monkey. Thank you. And again, have a very Merry Christmas, and I will see everyone for the New Year's stream, which I don't think I said is starting at 6:30 Eastern and is probably going until midnight Eastern during in the new year. Uh, exactly, Jessica. So again, very Merry Christmas. I will see everyone again in 2 weeks. Bye.